right, welcome back to Double V Strategic. And today we're going to be talking about home defense. Into how I landed on this phase of my life home defense weapon, which is a shotgun. But I want to reverse and give you guys a little backdrop of how I got here, because you just don't wake up and be like, I want a shotgun for home defense. If you really a gun guy, you put some thought behind it, it kind of doesn't happen like that. So, if you go back to the beginning, my first home defense weapon was a pistol, just like everyone else's. 9mm Beretta PX4 Storm, which was my home defense and my carry. Phenomenal weapon, but as time goes on, I really wasn't into trying to figure out how to suppress it at that time. And as time goes on, you see situations occurring consistently around the world, and you man, maybe I need to get something a little bigger. So we're Americans here, right? So what do you grab next? An AR-15. Now, AR-15, extremely awesome weapon, but is it the best weapon for home defense? Now, I live in the suburbs, so let's just keep that in mind. But is it the best weapon for home defense? So I had that for a while. And the more I got into guns, the more I became knowledgeable about guns, I realized that where I live, this may not, and mine was a 16-inch, so this may not be the best option, because if I shoot and don't hit the target, then it's going to go through, and it could hit Miss Such and Such next door, which no one ever wants to be in that situation where you accidentally shot someone you were not trying to shoot.
All right, yes, damn. I shot.
This was not the answer. I am naturally, inherently a 308 guy. But let's not even bring it about 308 for in-home, in the suburbs shooting. It overkill, in my opinion. That's my humble opinion. If you are running 308 for your home defense, hopefully you live on acreage of land and you're not in a neighborhood or in a subdivision where there's homes within 30 feet of you. So the next journey to to home defense, because you have 5.56 and what other quiet, and that was another thing with 9mm and 5.56 is the noise, right? Even suppress, especially 5.56, it's supersonic, so it's still pretty loud inside of a home. Because the reality is, you take it to the range and shoot it all the time with your muffs on. The reality is, in a bump of the night, you're not going to grab your muff first and then go defend. You're not going to do that. So you clacking off a 5.56 in your home, even though it is suppressed, probably still going to be kind of loud. So the next thing is okay, well, noise is the issue. So what do you go to next? What was the talk of the town? The 300 blackout, right? Just use the same mags as the 5.56. You can get a shorter barrel to get good coefficient ballistics out of it. So it's just phenomenal. Now, I went in with this because this made a lot of sense to me. It really did. I'm not talking about a cheap 300 blackout. I'm talking about a rattler, a nice rattler. And man, I gotta admit, 300 blackout is probably the funnest round to shoot. And the guns that you can build out of that caliber are probably, because of what it requires, probably some of the sexiest guns you'll ever see. I have no interest in supersonic 300 blackout because I'm a 308 guy. If I want to shoot if I want to shoot a supersonic 30 cal bullet, I'm going to just shoot 308. So for me, 300 blackout only is the subsonic. That's where it only makes sense to me. And I was really, really into this. So what drove me away from it? Reliability. So it's awesome for me when it works. But for me, I had issues getting it to consistently work. It wasn't my can. I'm in, between myself and the gun guys that I'm around, we went through the checklist. And I know some of you run 300 blackout you love it. That's your go-to, and kudos to you. But for me and what I experienced, I couldn't get it to run reliably. So I just, with that being in mind, when you talk about home defense, it was like, well, if I can get it to run reliably, the last thing I want is for something to happen at my home and then all of a sudden, "Oh, I hope this gun works." Like, that's not the idea or the ideal situation for me for home defense. And then there's the sub gun situation, which when I think of a sub gun, I only think about it in 45 ACP. 45 ACP is naturally, in my opinion, it's the original 300 Blackout. It's naturally subsonic. 45 is a great caliber. It's been around for a long, long time. It's not too expensive, so it made a lot of sense. But this is my own personal thing. I struggle with sub guns, and they're really cool. Really cool. A lot of cool sub guns between the Strybog, the BNTs, the HKs. A lot of cool sub guns. However, I struggle, like when I shoulder a weapon, I just feel that I should be shooting a rifle caliber. Like, it feels underwhelming to me to shoulder a weapon and it to go tink. Like, so, and besides that, yeah, so that was like kind of my against sub guns. So I kind of got, as my firearm journey went on, I kind of was like, you know what, let me relook at a shotgun. And here's two things I really like about a shotgun. Number one is the reliability. Like, they're really reliable. Now, I have a semi-automatic Beretta in front of me. It is really reliable. And number two, I like the versatility. So you're talking about, when I say versatility with a shotgun, I mean like the type of ammo it can shoot. You're talking about bird, buck, slugs. I love having that ability to be able to switch that up out of the same platform. Like, I'm not changing buffer springs, buffer, weights. I'm not changing any of that. I just literally put it in and it runs. I love that about the shotgun. Now, some of the dislikes, the obvious. Ammo capacity. It doesn't hold a lot. So what does that mean? That means when you're running this thing, ammo has to always be on the top of your mind. You need to, anytime you get an opportunity, you need to be looking to refeed it. So you typically want to have ammo on your saddles, like not the stationary saddles, the cards, the newer cards. The stationary saddles can get you in trouble now, but the new like shotgun holder cards that you can just snatch on and off with the Velcro makes a lot of sense. And I do have a saddle on the buttstock with some ammo in it as well. Another downfall of the shotgun in a home defense situation is the length. Okay. It's long. I mean, this is a full length shotgun and I have it suppressed. This can is about, I don't know, 10 inches long. So that's a long weapon. So now you kind of see like the dislikes, the likes, the dislikes. So why did I land on this? This leads me to like the demographic of my home. So this is important because that's why this gun exists. So I live in a 2-story home with a basement, and all the bedrooms are upstairs. Now, I used to live in a home where, and I have a wife and I have 4 children. So I used to live in a home where me, my wife, and the little 3 were upstairs, and then my oldest was on the main floor. And I gotta be honest with you, if you guys don't know, I spent a little part-time into real estate as well. So like home layouts, the functionality of layouts, I'm very familiar with that. I talk to families about it, and it's very important to me, especially when it comes to security. So when I lived in that home where my oldest daughter was on the main floor, like going through the safety scenarios of that home. Now, granted, my wife and kids, my wife and little 3 kids, they don't manipulate firearms. They are not firearm people. I am the only person in the home that knows how to manipulate and operate the firearm safely and know like what I'm doing. So the fact that I would have to leave 4 of them, my little 3 and my wife, because I have to go downstairs at this point, right? Like I have to go get my other child. There is no, So when I bought this, my wife and I purchased this new home, we made sure all 5 bedrooms were upstairs. Now, the downfall to that is, your kids are right up on you. They're there. But I would rather that be the situation opposed to something, there's a bump in the night, dad has to respond, and we're all split up. So with that being a demographic of my family and the dislikes, right? Like the length and the ammo capacity, for me, it's all about strong pointing. So if I hear a bump in the night, so I know a lot of you guys are CQB guys and you want to have the ability to clear this and clear that. Because of the demographic, the design of my home and the demographic of my family, it's important for me to have a strong point. Because of the way my home's designed, my strong point is at the top of the stairs. So here's where it goes. Boom, there's a bump in the night. Oh crap. My wife and I realized like this is a situation. So, hey babe, call 911 and I am going to strong point at the top of the stairs. So what's most valuable to me is my wife, my kids, and my life. And so we want to try to end this situation or get through the situation as safely as possible with all those things intact, meaning all of our lives. There's nothing important downstairs at that point for me to leave my family and go downstairs and try to solve the situation. Call 911, police are on the way. I am going to strong point at the top of the stairs. That's who I'm going to strong point at. You can be different. You cannot like that. But for me and the demographic of my family and the way my home is designed, which is something that was forethought while purchasing the home, that's an important deal to us. So for you, it may be a little different. But it's really about just getting through that situation and not having a story to tell. I mean, it'd be a cool story, right? Like, oh man, I ran down like 7 stairs and I jumped down the rest. I did a bell roll, popped this guy, slid behind the couch, kicked the coffee table into this dude's shin, then I uppercutted him and I held him there till the police got there. Like, that would be cool. But look, this is not John Wick. This is not Battlefield, where you are going to, when your respawn clock goes down, you're going to tactically just come back. Doesn't work like that. You have one life. So I did this video because I really want everyone to take the time. And in this phase of my life, this is my setup. It makes total sense for me at this phase of my life. It may change in the future, but I want everyone to always be checking this as your life evolves. And it doesn't mean you have to move homes. It just means like, oh, my kids are a little older now. Oh, maybe you have a kid who's 16, 17 and perfectly comfortable with manipulating a firearm, who you 100% trust. I don't have that in my home, so I have to really think about ways to get through the situation and not put my family in a vulnerable situation. So the goal of it is for you guys to just really think about it. Really think about your home defense and your setup, and does it work for you? That's the most important thing. Firearms are one of the most preferential things in our country. I don't make fun of people's builds, man. I never do that because I'm pretty sure in your mind, I hope in your mind you've taken the time to sit and think about why this setup works for you. Now, the fun part of this video, we're going to go over my build because I love my build and I think this build's pretty cool. So let's do things in reverse here. So you got a Beretta A300 Patrol Ultima. This gun is incredible. On my back is just it's the stock that comes on it. I have a saddle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shells in it. This is, pretty neat. I love this saddle. Honestly, I don't even know what brand it is. I got it from Copper Custom. Don't know what brand it is, but I like it because it gives me more ammo and it's pretty soft. I like to have my cheeks, I don't want my cheeks rubbing against anything hard. I moisturize daily. It's important to me. By the way, you see ammo, but shotgun it's empty. Just, so you guys know. As you come forward, just the stock charging handle. You get to the top of it. We do have an RMR HD. This optic is phenomenal. I was very against this at first. I was actually thinking of throwing the Holosun NV on it, but then I was like, man, that's going to sit up way too high. And, I was in Copper one day and I was like, let me throw the RMR HD on it to see how it looks. And I was really adamant about not losing I want to co-witness with my ghost ring in my front sight. So, and when I did my research, the only thing they said that did that with this firearm was the Reptilia mount with the Acro. So, but I have an RMR plate and an RMR HD on it, and it co-witnesses with my Ghost Ring and my fiber optic front sight. So this optic has been money for this shotgun, and I'm absolutely glad that I threw that on there and gave it a shot because it works really, really, really well. Okay, on this side of the gun, I have one of those shotgun cards I was talking about. I think this one holds 7 rounds. And this one, in a tactical situation, if I decide to, which I will do in the future, you can rip this card off. You have something on your vest, rip it off, and snatch it back on, and you have more ammo. Okay, move forward a little bit. This is not the stock handguard. This is the Briley handguard for this. This is an awesome handguard. I like it a lot. It gives it a little swag, and it gives it more M-LOK slots, which is important. These, I have heat shields, Magpul heat shields. It's just for extra grip. There is no heat that comes back here that I've experienced, but I like the texture of them, so I can grab it. The light that I'm running is a Streamlight Pro Tag. This is a cool little light. I don't have a switch on it, just button press. And I can strobe it, which I like. I like the options of being able to do that. It's good enough for, home defense, CQB style weapon. Now, thick boy right here. This is the Rex Selenium Seg 12. This thing makes this whole gun, in my opinion. When I first got this gun, I was running some Federal 1635 FPS slugs through it, and I was just doing that to try to break it in, to try to see, what can it handle. Those slugs are not fun to shoot. After you shoot, 10 of them, you're like, dude, all right. It's a lot, right? That's a hot slug. So when I got the can on it, when I decided, okay, this is what I'm going with, I got the can on it, and I ran those same slugs through it, completely changed the way this thing, the way the experience with the slugs felt. Those hot slugs, the weight on the front of the rifle, and just what suppressors do to recoil, it just settled it down. Those slugs are awesome to shoot now. Now, is that the ammo I run for home defense? No. The ammo I run for home defense is actually, this is a Fiocchi 12 gauge slug. It's called low recoil, but it is essentially subsonic. So it's about 1150 FPS, and with 1150 FPS, and then you throw the thick boy can on it, it's pretty nasty. Literally goes foop, and it's an 1.5 ounce slug coming at you at 1150 FPS quietly. So think about what we talked about, me strong pointing in my stairwell at the top of my stairs. Because in my home, the way it's set up, if you want to come up my stairs, you're coming for lives at that point. So in that situation, because I have no one else to manipulate firearms, I want things done quickly. So what I'm getting at is the terminal ballistics of a shotgun. If someone was to break in and they were wearing some sort of protection, you're gonna feel this 100%. There's no way around it. So at the end of the day, at this phase of my life, it made a lot of sense. And I gotta admit, I'm enjoying the journey of this, of manipulating the shotgun, becoming a little shotgun wizard. Dude, this is fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's a whole vibe. So let me know what you think. What's your home defense? What's your for real, I've thought about this. This makes total sense. Some of you don't live in 2-stories. Some of you live in ranches. Some of you live in bi-levels, which is, you typically bi-level, you have 2 or 3 bedrooms upstairs or one or 2 downstairs. So that's kind of funky. So I would love to hear you guys chit chat about this. And also I'm kind of doing secret research for real estate transactions. So when I talk to people, I'm showing homes to people, I could be like, hey, well, this is a consensus about this. This is the safety features. Because typically when you're showing home, the wife is worried about, where can she put the table, what color is she going to paint the walls, that type of stuff. And the dad's like, how much is the payment, and where am I going to put my safe at and my guns? And how much am I going to pay, and how can I protect? So, when me and dad let the wife kind of wander off a little bit and we get our little alone time, we can talk about safety features. So, but I don't have all that info because I live in my type of home. So I want to know what you guys think. And what is your thought out setup for self-defense? So I'm going to get real adamant about asking you guys to subscribe and follow and share. I really, really want to grow this channel. I do not want this to be, captured, which Northwest Indiana is my home, and I have a lot of love from people all over the region, but I don't want it to stay here. I want this channel to continue to grow, and in order for that to happen, I need your help. So this has been Double V by this home defense setup. You got any questions? Hit me up in the DMs. I respond. Yeah, I'll chat with you. No problem. Straight up. So hit me up. Let's chit chat. Share your stories. I would love to know, like, legitimately, what are you running when there's a bump in the night? As always, blessings and peace. I'm out.